We had a few games. Today we're checking out this Roblox game. It had a few players, a few K players, and as you can see, I did a little bit of off-screen grinding. Got a mythic trade, on him. Nothing crazy, Little off-screen grinding, and today I'll just be reviewing the game, rating the game. Now, for you guys who don't know what this game is, it's not like your typical tower defense game, but it's similar to the extent of summoning, putting down units. I mean, this is happening automatically, and upgrading your units. Let's check out my team real quick. I have Shanks, he's a mythic, Icarus, a legendary, and Speedwagon. Speedwagon boosts his money like always in most of these games, and Icarus is just a legendary, he's mid. It's such a shame too, because he's so cool in the anime. And we have Shanks. Now, I will say one thing special about this game, they do have passives. Hold on here. Let's see if I can pull up those Let's go to the next game. Let's see if I can pull up those passives real quick. My Shanks do have a mythic. Stage information. Alright, maybe I have to pull up the passive after this match. But I have been doing a little off-screen grinding. Nothing too crazy for my viewers. Anything for my viewers. I had to get a mythic. I couldn't be out here losing, looking sorry. The effects aren't too high here. It's something light, something chill. This game do have a few players, so that's what I'm checking out. I think I will be something weekly I'll be doing is checking out different Roblox games that have a few thousand players and see what's the hype around. This is an anime-based game. And as we know, in the Roblox anime community, people will play anything. Look at Blox Fruits. Alright, let's go back to lobby. Here are my units, like I said before. Now for this Roblox game, they do have equipment you can put on units, gear. Pacific passive. Abilities, something light, nothing too crazy. Something light, nothing too crazy. There should be something here. When I first read these things, there was something here talking about what they can do. Seems like I'm not finding it at the moment. Well, oh wait, passive right here. See? Each one has a passive, which is stereotypical nowadays. You guys can pause to read yourself. I'm not going to read it to you. Now let's get back into the fight, back into the mission. Oh wait, if you're wondering what passive my Shanks do have on, let me go there real quick. Is that? No, that's not him. Click the wrong button. Where is it? I do like the spawn. The spawn is nice. Ever since All-Star Tower Defense, I will feel like the spawns have been getting better and better in these past Roblox Tower Defense games. But I will say, I do miss the time where you grind for a unit, and that's all you have to do to get a good unit. Now you have to get stout rerolls and things like that. Yeah, I have this one right here. Lower cost, higher damage, more HP. Like, this right here is what I'm talking about. 2,000 damage, 200 damage, 300% HP, 30% range, 50% cooldown. Even a legendary or a common unit can be better than a mythical if you get one of these things on them. It just feels so pointless. Well, I guess that's kind of a hot take at the moment, I guess. Because it's nothing like gambling, I will say. I do feel like the basic buffs are fine. I'm not going to lie. But the reason I even bring that up, because I have seen this one video, I have to agree with the guy. I don't know who the guy was again, who said that, but I do have to agree with him. All right, let's go back in. I already finished the first map. Like I said, a little bit off-screen grind. Let's move on to the second map. We're fighting Whitebeard next. Honestly, what do you guys think about One Piece? Me personally, I don't really like it. I did like... Whoa. I'm not sure if you guys can hear that, but that sounds like a Battle Cats right there, that opening. If you guys know what Battle Cats is, I do play Battle Cats. I am a big fan of Battle Cats. This is actually reminiscing of Battle Cats more than a typical tower defense games. I won't lie to you guys. If you guys do want to see Battle Cats content, let me know. I will try my best to get that out there. I mean, leave a comment on the video, I guess. But I was saying before, One Piece. What do you guys even think about One Piece? Me, I feel like it's overrated. It's just not that good. It feels like a nothing burger. And the reason why I say that, though, because as it went on for so long, nothing feels unique. Nothing feels special. It has just, oh yeah, Luffy fights bad guy at the end of the thing. Luffy wins or escapes. You know, it doesn't feel the same. I feel like after the time skip, things just haven't been as good. Especially with Sanji, man. Whole Cake Island couldn't redeem Sanji. He couldn't become top tier. Like, Sanji, I mean, there's probably Zoro fans that may click on this video and just dislike it because of that. But Sanji used to be my favorite. Like, Sanji, the beret, when he first came into the frame, took out that guy effortlessly. We find out he has German genes later on and things like that. Well, that's a spoiler if you guys don't know. But Sanji on the water train, finding Bruno, fighting that other chef, I think it was a CP9 member too, I think. But fighting that chef with the spaghetti fruit, string fruit, spaghetti fruit, whatever you want to call it, and him basically doing a gauntlet and clearing everything. When we saw Luffy struggle with Bruno at that moment, I was like, Sanji is one of the strongest members of the crew. Sanji is top tier. And I haven't felt like that about Sanji in such a long time. I'm not sure how you guys feel about Sanji, if you guys even care for Sanji anymore. But that made Sanji over Zoro. But Zoro had his moments. Zoro, pre-time skip. I don't really want to talk about pre-time, because just in case people don't know anything about the first, like after time skip, what happened with Zoro and things like that, King of Hell. I mean, some people got to Wano, some people haven't gotten Wano. And some people have watched the newest animation, some people have not. But post time skip Zero, right? Pre-time skip Zoro, when that guy was fighting Mr. One out of the crocodile agency, and bro said, defend. I'm not gonna defend. And then he cut that boater with ease. He cut it like butter. And he proceeds to basically one-shot a guy that he was basically going high difficulty with. And the other guy was going low difficulty with. I don't even know Mr. One. I don't know if he has an actual name besides Mr. One. But the only reason I say that, though, because Zoro, he's that guy. But Sanji, he was him. He was different. You are you, but you're not him, I feel like, you know. But now I just feel like Zoro had just better moments now, especially in the anime. Like, Sanji, I'd rather Sanji wake up, beat Chris Beasley, and beat women, and become a hardcore, quote-unquote, villain, you know? Become a humanless cyborg. Because at least then he'll have aura points back. I just keep on thinking about the scenes of him losing. Not him just losing, but him losing so much blood to a mermaid. Him losing so much blood to a mermaid that Chopper had to save him, bring him back to life. And not let's not even talk about Whole Cake. Whole Cake, I will say that was trying to revive the character, bring him back to his prime, I feel like. That was best Sanji, Whole Cake Sanji, it feels like. The emotion, what's going on, had me on my tippy toes. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know what was gonna happen next. Right, I prefer Sanji over Zoro, but current day, I guess Zoro is cooler, but I don't really care for the characters that much. As Luffy, he's the captain. I guess he's goated. You know, I have nothing to say about Luffy or Nico, Robin, Nami. Usopp used to be up there. Usopp used to be up there. I won't lie to you guys. Usopp used to be top tier. You know, he was such a he was such trash, right? If you guys know like the stories of Ueki, it's an old anime, but his power was to turn trash into trees. But the reason why I bring that up because even though Usopp was trash, the way he would still make those shots, have a 100% rate of being green. If we're talking about when he was fighting against Luffy, even against Onlong fishmen, I don't even know they weren't really top tier fighters. They were still fishmen. They were still high, you know, like high up there. I would feel like. I feel like One Piece at the beginning, the villains felt powerful, you know, and that's something you always need in a story. And you need villains that feel powerful, even though they're actually low tiers, like the Hollows in Bleach. Most of the time, Ichigo was fighting those Hollows, right? He could probably one-shot them, but because of his own hesitation and things like that, there was threats. It was kind of dangerous, you know. People suffered damage from those Hollows. People was losing, felt like they was gonna lose, felt like they was gonna get lost, felt like they were gonna get killed. But let me not talk about Bleach. Let's talk about One Piece. You know, the One Piece is real. Can we get much higher? So high. But here's what I mean. Also, I have a mythic, right? He has the trait on him, and he's clearing this. I'm clearing this with ease. There's no thought behind it. That's why I don't understand why people. I don't understand why people like so fixated on the skills, right? They always add the traits, the skills, whatever you want to call it, abilities. And it makes it where it's like the game isn't even as fun or difficult. Then when you get to that end game hard content, you're going to be bricked at a wall because it looks like that was the end of it, but it looks like be bricked at a wall because you don't have a specific skill. Let's go back to the lobby. That is most definitely reminiscing of Battle Cats. I won't lie to you guys. Now, there is other things in this game like upgrading your equipment, how many things you can hold, and stuff like that with gold. Like you have a limited amount of money you can get at a time. You have a limited amount of few things. You need to use gold from like things you summon. You need to use your gold that you sold. Actually, I think this is actually sounding more like Battle Cats. Not, I won't lie to you guys. With the some with the buying your like sending out your enemies, I think that was like a Battle Cat sound effect there, not just the beginning. But One Piece, it's all right. I don't really personally care for the show, but Naruto. Now, if we're talking about back in the old 2000s, post time skip, Naruto, Bleach, and like Naruto, not Naruto, just basic Naruto, not Naruto Shippuden. We're talking about those three, right? Naruto has such iconic fights. It had such great things. I will say it made everyone feel important, but yet not too much to take away from the original characters. I mean, the main cast, not the original characters. As when we think about banger side characters, we could think about for like good guys. You got Rock Lee, Neji, Kiba. I'm joking. That was a lie. I meant to say Choji and Shikamaru, right? For W and Shikamaru. But then you have like from the main cast, Naruto, Sasuke, Kakashi. Yeah, I think that's what I remember from the main cast. And then you have like Useless, which is Sakura. I heard that in the manga, Sakura is not even that bad, personally, but just in the anime, she wasn't that. She was not raw. Was not rocking her and what she was doing. It was really, really just terrible. But the reason why I bring up Naruto, I feel like Naruto beats over One Piece and One Piece kind of beats over Bleach because of the way Bleach is. But because when you think about One Piece, think about emotional fights for One Piece, you can think of a lot, even post time skip, Arlong, the CP9, Water 7. There's like a lot of arcs where there's emotional battles. For Bleach, I'm not saying there isn't any emotional battles, but it's very few. Like Bleach has a lot of filler. That's not a lie. And Bleach story, it isn't like the other stories. Our MC doesn't directly state how he's feeling and things like that. But I digress on Bleach. Naruto, from day one, you can feel that this guy had aura. Are they? Oh wow, I was not summoning there. Even when I did not summon, I'm still about to cook him. I just love having OP traits that doesn't even make me try. But anyways, like I said before, Naruto, you can tell from day one, after the whole making multi-Shao clone jutsu, that it was going to be a nice series. Like that was high intention. I feel like to agree. It was memorable. All the fights, most fights that Naruto remember, and not to mention the last fight that Naruto really could have killed Sasuke in. I feel like Sasuke got out so lucky, but let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the Haku fight. Haku and Zabuza fight. I feel like Haku, when he was fighting Naruto and Sasuke said, Naruto, he said, "What's wrong, scaredy cat?" And then they went to the forest in death, and the ginormous snake monster, aka Orochimaru, legitimately attacked Sasuke. And Sasuke got saved by Naruto. He said, "What's wrong, scaredy cat?" And looked at him with that nine-tailed fox eyes. You can't tell him that wasn't memorable. Especially when Gaara came in, right? Also in the Forest of Death. He picked up the guy. He said, this is like his introduction. My first time we're seeing Gaara. He picked up his eyes. He picked up the guy. He said, "Let it rain blood. Send Goffin." And killed him. Why wouldn't you be like, this guy's string? I do feel bad for Gaara because if he didn't have to go with that weak transformation jutsu and becoming the one tail to try to rampage through the village, I feel like he could have beat Sasuke. I'm not gonna lie. Sasuke just didn't feel like a top tier fighter, but it probably showed that he probably was just gonna get speed blitzed by Sasuke because Sasuke with that Kakashi training could have. Maybe he's moving as fast than Rock Lee. As we know, Rock Lee was moving fast enough to legitimately get past and get through Gaara's sand defense and even break his sand skin. One thing I wish they would have added into other anime fighting games is Gaara's sand skin, because Gaara always has that activated. His skin is already covered in thick layer of sand and thick layer of protection, which is what makes it even better that Rock Lee low-key took him out. But Rock Lee still lost, and that's the biggest shame. I won't talk about what they did to him to Naruto Shippuden. While Bleach, if we're thinking about the fights in Bleach, the Ichigo fights, they was all decent. I mean, Gin coming in there after he beat Giganta, I think his name was. After Ichigo beat Giganta, Gin came in there, he said, "You're not supposed to be here. Move!" And hit him with his Zanpakuto. That was alright, but for Bleach, early Bleach, like Soul Society Bleach, only thing I can really think about, I'm not talking about the bounce arc. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. The bounce arc, it was filler, and it was not something I care for, so I won't talk about it. I'm not saying it was a bad arc, though. Bleach, though, Byakuya, when Byakuya came on the screen and fought that guy, Ichigo, the first time he appeared, he took his sword. The second time he appeared, Ichigo popped Bankai on him. Crazy. Ichigo fighting Urahara felt more lighthearted than an actual serious battle. I think it's because we don't feel like it's a serious battle for some of those things. It didn't really matter. The Grand Fisher fight with Ichigo, that was cake right there. I won't lie. That was immaculate. And even the other Hollow that had I don't remember who he was. He was some type of murderer, I believe, who was able to shove the little boy's soul into the bird's body. But I digress. I'm not saying there is no emotional fights. It's just like those are not really memorable. No one really brings them up. I don't know why, but I can understand why they don't bring it up. Right? Well, you have characters that you love fighting characters that you love, right? Like we like Byakuya, we like Byakuya, and we like Ichigo, we like Rock Lee, we like Gaara, we like Naruto, you know? So of course we're gonna bring up Haku and Zabuza because they was like a pair that was like, you know what I mean? there is things there. I mean, this is supposed to be some type of video talking about dy- 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 dynamics. This video is just supposed to be talking about this Roblox anime game, which is decent. I'm not gonna lie, it's something to play when you're not feeling, not sure what to do, and just don't have anything better to do. I don't think it's. I don't think I'm not gonna say it didn't deserve the 6K player it has. I can see people getting into it, getting invested with gambling. As most people on Roblox, they're either Luke, room temperature IQ, playing these games, finding extreme enjoyment, or they just like to gamble. They like the feeling, they like the excitement, which I can't blame them. I used to be a big fan of these games too, and so I got other games I want to play, I guess. Excuse me, my bad there. Or maybe they just like Roblox to an unhealthy degree. But no, I gotta say, Kid Naruto, out of Kid Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach, I personally like Bleach more than I like Naruto. But Kid Naruto there, he had it. He had it on him, right? The entirety of Bleach, I'll pick Bleach over Naruto, but I haven't seen Naruto Shippuden. I didn't get the opportunity to watch that. Maybe I'll watch it eventually, you know. But same thing for One Piece. One Piece, even though I watched it all, there was only a few moments that really got me there for One Piece. And that's when he went Gear 2. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Also, this probably unedited. It's just me talking just about anime and stuff. It is an anime-based fighting game. Not fighting game, defense game. Like, I will say this isn't a bad game, though, because you just look at the map. Look at the detail. Look how beautiful it looks. For Roblox again. It's not like GPO level. GPO was groundbreaking in a sense, but now I will never get into GPO just because I don't really care for One Piece like that. I'm not saying it's bad or anything. I know there's a lot of One Piece glazer and defenders. Also, Oda. Actually, I won't speak on that. There's no point. But yeah, this video already have a long run time. I think I'm gonna end it off after this match, after this map, and if anyone likes to see it, just let me know. I'll probably come back to the game. I have no problems with it, no crawls. I mean, I'm not the most entertaining. I'm not the most world's greatest actor who never needs a stage. Sorry about that. I'm not the most entertaining, but I'm just stating what I feel, And this game is all right. It's nothing wrong with it. I did a little off-screen grinding though, so I'm not just like a level 1 suffering grinding. And I did get lucky. I got a mythic easily, and I got a mythic trait on that mythic easily. And now the game is just a dog walk. And that's also what I feel like is a problem. Like old games, I feel like the one main problem with Roblox game is the evolution. Once you get to the certain point of evolving, right, your game on Roblox, you'll get to the point where everything becomes irrelevant at the beginning, right? I'm not saying I think I am saying I think level requirements is needed if you want your game to feel at least a bit more challenging for new players, right? And what I mean by that is old All-Star Tower Defense it was low chance to get a mythical unit, right? And there wasn't a lot of options to get gems and things like that. So you have to use the 4 stars, 3 stars, and you have to use those 3-star to attack your air when they had air on the last stage. You have to carefully place your units, resell, and things like that. You really felt like you could lose. Instead, it's not like that anymore. I'm not saying like the games are bad because it's not like that. I'm just saying the games lose what makes the game special, right? Like Tower Defense Simulator is not completely bad. You can still lose if you're careless, but I want a feeling just like Tower Defense Simulator. What's your guys' opinion of that, though? Let me know in the comments. I'm probably gonna make this into a short because that's the main point I really want to talk about to other people, or just to people that are in my community, in my crow's nest. No, I should low key probably say grunts. I don't really know. I need a word to call you guys. You gotta start somewhere. Like Korya's Kitchen, he has Samurai, but Korya's Kitchen started like at age 15, I think, or maybe he just turned 18 too. I don't know. I know he's been around the app been on YouTube for a few years, and now he's gone. You know. Corey's Kitchen. It really take me back. Sorry, I almost had to rap there. I really felt the flow. I'm thinking of all these bars. I'm really staying 10 toes. Yeah, that cringes me out too, guys. I'm sorry. But no, all I'm saying it is, I really do wish anime games had a specific point, but power creep, it's in every game. If it's something like Genshin Impact, something like Genshin Impact, something like any of those mobile games like DBZ Legends, or even games where they add DLC. The DLC itself can be huge power creep in that. Or even with like certain skills, right? Traits and things that they may add into the game in the future. Like, let's say, but I mean, that could just be a way to get money too, you know? Because traits was a good idea. I'm not gonna lie, traits was a good idea. And making it where it's not just basic traits made it where it's like, oh yeah, this right here, this is gonna get players to spend their money. But it's just, I don't know. I just feel like once you get those boosts, the game becomes irrelevant and pointless to some degree. That's why I did stop playing All-Star. That's why I stopped playing a few tower defense games. But I digress. Naruto, though, I will say one thing about Naruto. What I heard about Naruto Shippuden, about the Tail Beast, about Gaara, about how Shukaku was the weakest one. That Shukaku, low-key, I just can't like Shukaku. I like the design of Shukaku, though. He's one of my favorite design Tail Beasts. I know the 2 tails look pretty cool, and the 7 tails is one of the most chillest ones, and the 8 tails is a literal octopus boar, while the 9 tails is just a fox. The 4 tails is a lava monkey. So all I'm saying is, if we were talking about the tail beast and they all had equal stats, I most definitely feel like the 9 tails would be the weakest one. The 9 tails would be the weakest one if they all had similar attacks. It's really between sand, lava, and if those blue flames had a special effect. I heard that the guy with the bubbles, I believe he was the 5 tails, his ability was actually really broken in the manga, while in the anime they made it look really bad. Guys, if you could have a tail beast, you know, which tail beast you have, they all had equal stats. As we both know, there's a multiplier to it. That's why the 9 tails is so strong. He looks down on all the rest of them, which is such a shame too, because the ability to control sand, kind of OD, kind of broken, you know, depending on the extent you can use it. Controlling lava, that's literally death, you know. And let's not get on the topic of Boruto, though. That is something that shall not be named. Boruto, the first movie, the first movie of Boruto, I won't lie to you guys, I kind of enjoyed it. I liked it, you know. You have Momoshiki, a guy who abused pills to get a power boost. And at the time, they was talking about Naruto. They was talking about how Naruto didn't like Boruto, as he used a ninja tool to get a power boost. It wasn't really his own power. And then at the end, Boruto used the power, well, of something that's, you know. Oh, well, that's the end of the video. I guess I'll catch you guys later.